So, Eddie, just going back to what it's like owning a Tesla,
Yep.
what would you say the differences are? Because you can't just go to any servo down the road.
Mm-hmm.
What issues or warnings would you issue to someone who was thinking of getting one?
Yeah. So it's a good question, actually. So, I kind of got the car because I'd been looking at Teslas since the very first Model S, and I'd taken them for test drives, and I was just blown away by the sort of the instance, the speed at which the delivery of the torque comes. Right, it's pretty much
You assume
instant.
electric cars can't compete, and I don't think that's necessarily the case.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, have you done beatboxing with the accelerator yet? I seen a Tesla do that. I was listening to the radio,
Yeah.
and they must have been listening to the same radio station, and it's just and I see the car just going.
Yeah.
And like the guy
Probably
is
not good
listening
for
to
it.
Yeah, you don't want to be a drummer in a Tesla because
It mustn't have been the person's car. It
you're-
must have been the father's car or something.
yeah.
You know
yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah, so the performance, and I mean, unless you've actually driven one, the performance of the vehicles, even the slow version, just blows you away. But going back to sort of the whole range thing and how you kind of need to be set up. Ideally, you'd have a house, you'd have your own house, and then you could just put the Tesla
Charging
wall charger in,
station.
get a Sparky in to fix it up for you, and then pretty much every day you start with a full tank of petrol. Okay, and it's pretty cheap to run, especially if you've got solar. For a full tank of petrol or a full battery of
Full-
electrons.
Fully
Okay,
charged.
so
Fully charged battery back. Look, when Tesla first started, and I was thinking, he's got a car company, and he's doing solar panels, and he's doing spaceships. What are these? This guy's a bit loopy, but
To be
then,
out there, but not
then it
so
all
much.
clicked. It's like he's doing the solar panels to get into the home and allow the home to be energy efficient and
and the batteries as well, right?
and then he's got the Tesla Powerwall, and then he's got the car that's also electric. So it's like it's a whole. I mean, this is like vertical integration.
It's a closed system.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got all of these systems that complement each other. So and SpaceX, which obviously has to use propellant. Well, that's the thing we're going to talk about soon. But those two, solar. Well, he doesn't even call it Solar City anymore. I think he's rounded it. Has he?
so Tesla did buy Solar City,
So it's now just one thing,
so it's one thing. Yeah,
and its share price
I
just
think it's
went over
called
$1,000.
Tesla Energy now.
Hey, what's the Tesla's share price at the moment?
Oh, it'd be up
Let's
there.
have a
It'll
look.
be up there.
It'd
It'll
be up
like,
there, son.
I think it's just type TSLA ticker.
Yeah, apparently they double topped, so maybe there's a bit of resistance around the $1,000 mark, but they did bump it.
Ah, yes, some
Recently.
short sellers cashing in there. No,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not short sellers. It's
Just some
peop-
profit taken, I
yeah,
think.
just take some of the profit on top.
Yeah,
It hit 1,000. I'm going to sell it.
yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Oh,
so
you have some shares.
people probably had some exit strategies
No, I
around that.
didn't. I did not have any shares.
Oh dear.
I should have bought at 300
No, but
something.
back in the day, it seemed like a crazy investment.
Oh,
And
you should see
High risk.
Look at the
You should see the short sellers.
inventions that
the short sellers were
Yeah.
constantly at the hit.
Yeah, Tesla Q, the Twitter. If you do a hashtag Tesla Q in Twitter, it's interesting stuff at the moment. A lot of those guys are bleeding from their eyes,
Yeah.
trying to figure out a strategy here. Yeah,
Yeah, and during the pandemic, when I think some of them said, "Look, this is our only out. Let's get out," and so they just cut their losses.
yeah. One of those shorts. His fund had to cover a loss of like over 500 billion or something.
8 billion.
8 billion, was it?
I think it was 8 billion.
It was a
I
lot,
heard it.
and it would have hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
I don't
confusing my
wanna
millions
foot
Actually, I
and
don't. I
billions.
can't.
I
Maybe
think
it was
maybe
500 million.
500
maybe it was
million,
500
yeah.
million. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
8 billion.
It was a lot. Yeah. So, anyway, going back to your original question there, Simo.
Oh,
So, yeah, look. So, I think if you had a house,
yep.
with a closed system, so you had the solar panel, the battery, and the car, that would be
The ideal.
the ideal
scenario.
situation. If you had a house just on mains, that's kind of the second best situation. If you live in an apartment and there's a charging plug in your garage, that's kind of the third best option, because
But
it's a communal.
Does that come with the car, like some sort of charging?
No. So
No.
most new developments in the last 5 years now have electric vehicle charging spaces, kind of like visitor spaces. When you go visit your mate in an apartment, they have dedicated electrical vehicle charging spaces. So you would come home, plug your car in for 3 or 4 hours, and then move your car to your dedicated parking spot in the garage.
Yep.
And then you're ready to go for the next day. And then that allows the community in the building, who also have electric vehicles, to sort of share the charging facilities. And then obviously, if you're in the situation that I'm in, which is basically you live in an apartment with no charging infrastructure, if your strata manager's nice, you can sort of plug into just a 240 volt outlet and trickle charge it. That'll get you about 20% overnight, which is enough for kind of 1 to 2 days worth of operation of the vehicle, depending on how far you need to go in a day.
Yeah.
But for me, I usually just charge the car when I go do my shopping, like once or twice a week, or if we go out to eat. Most of the shopping centres now have electric vehicle charging
Really?
infrastructure.
Because I've
Complimentary
noticed
as well.
that there's one Birkenhead Shopping Centre has an electric. I think there's 4 bays of electric car charging, and that's the only place I've ever seen it.
Yeah, so
And I was like, it's going to increase, I would assume.
yeah, so every Westfields that I've been to has one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so Bondi Junction, all through sort of Sydney, most Westfields now have EV charging
Right.
facilities, complimentary for shoppers, right? So you park in there and you charge and you go do your
I
shopping.
can't wait.